Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Anderson TV. I'm Josiah Anderson. So today we're going to talk about the war against baby boomers. I could have came up with a better name for this episode. I didn't want to do this episode at first, but I've decided just to go with it because it's the last episode of the season, so we might as well just get it over with. So anyways, there is a lot of controversy regarding the generation of baby boomers. And I'm talking about this as someone from Gen Z. Now, what I might say about baby boomers or Gen Z might not apply to you personally. But it does apply to some people because you know what they always say about like baby boomers are all rich or something like that. Well, I know some baby boomers who aren't rich. I mean, my grandmother's a baby boomer and she's not rich. I mean, not everyone, and Gen Z of course is supposed to be like richer and wealthier or something like that. Do I look rich? Do I look wealthy or something like that? No, I do not. So, but anyways, we're going to talk about this war on baby boomers. I wouldn't call it a war. I would call it more like a debate or something that matters. So, we'll be right back. Okay, so now let's talk about the so-called war on baby boomers. So, yeah, I was raised by a baby boomer, aka my grandmother. So, I know a little bit more about like the older generation of things, and it is good to learn from your elders. It is very good to learn from your elders. Because I think they've been through the exact same problems that we're probably going through now. I mean, my grandmother always mentions a lot about like preparing for hard times. And it is very important to prepare for hard times. I mean, yeah, Trump may be president, but sometimes whoever's in the White House, there are going to be hard times when you really look at it. I mean, so, anyways, what my grandmother taught me is that it is better to like prepare for hard times. So, gather some canned goods, some food that will last you for about 20 years or so, and probably get some land out in the country. Among other things. So try living off the grid is what she's saying. Live off the grid. I mean, it is a survival skill. I mean, because someday the electricity is going to be off, and people who are living off the grid, they're going to be the only ones with electricity, with food, with everything. Because, yeah, I believe that day will come eventually. It may not be now, but it could be a year from now, or 5 years from now, 10 years, 20 years, hopefully 100 years from now, where I'm not here. So we learn a lot from our baby boomer generation. So me personally, my mother and my father wasn't there during most of my childhood, like 90%, 80-90% of my childhood, they weren't there. So, but I learned a lot from my grandmother. And I learned a lot from like the old generation as well. So I think so. Me personally, I talk better with adults. I communicate better with adults and seniors. But the problem is my generation. I disagree with the things that my generation would do. I disagree with those. I mean, like type of music, like rap music and playing those video games. You know, I never played a video game since I was in foster care, and that was only one time that I played. It was on an Xbox. That was the only time I ever played video games. Well, my grandmother managed to get an Xbox for Christmas to 2013. It was it 2013, 2014. I don't remember. So managed to get us an Xbox One. So we didn't have the correct type of TV. We had a Panasonic TV from 2001. And I think the Xbox is more equipped to operate on a flat screen TV. So, anyways, yeah, I never play video games. Still to this day, I never play video games. I'm more of a mobile games type person anyway. So, and also the music. So, when I was living with my dad, I'm not talking about right now, I'm talking about the last time that I lived with my dad 10 years ago. Of course, yeah, my dad would take me and my brother to school. He will always have that rap music playing with all those swear words. And then I learned those swear words from the music that my dad would play on there. I remember that when I was living with my grandmother, right after all that crap was going on with my mother getting arrested. So, my grandmother brought home some of that rotisserie fried chicken from Brookshire's. They used to, I think they still do have chicken, but back to the story. So, she brought home some fried chicken. Yeah, I wanted some. My grandmother said no. I went upstairs angry. I was at my aunt's house. Yeah, I went upstairs angry, and then I called my grandmother the B word. So then when my grandmother found out, of course, she's told me, yeah, that's a bad word to say, that should never say that again. To this day, I do not say any bad words. I do not say any swear words out loud. Well, I don't say them out loud. I sometimes say it with a whisper so no one will hear it. But I never said any swear words out loud since I was 7 when that happened. I was 7, 8 years old when that happened. So, anyways, yeah, that's what grandmothers are there for. I mean, so I know that there's people that weren't raised by their mothers and fathers. They were raised by their grandmothers. So I saw a movie, Hillbilly Elegy, about the story of J.D. Vance. So I guess throughout the rest of his life, he was raised by his grandmother. When I guess he was a teenager, he was raised by his grandmother since his mother had drug addiction problems. Now, that sort of sounds like my story, but the difference is my mother doesn't have a drug addiction. I mean, she has a problem. She has another problem, which I will not disclose here. So, about the war on baby boomers. So I'm trying so hard to get this episode done. So let's just go on with it. So, in regards to history, my generation and millennials are beginning to question baby boomers' knowledge in history. So, like for example, yeah, baby boomers, they protest against the Vietnam War, and then you have some of them supporting what's going on in Gaza. So, anyways, now there is a new anti-war generation, is Gen Z. So, anyways, but let me make this clear. I do not support the Israeli government, and I do not support the pro-Palestine movement. I do not, but I'm against war. So, anyways, now that there is an age of social media, now that there are some people that do understand history, which some people would dismiss as conspiracy theories, but now that some things are proven to be true, then that cannot be questioned anymore. I mean, whoever whoever said the truth about this, like, for example, 9/11, there was a representative of Congress named Kurt Weldon. I saw his interview yesterday on the Tucker Carlson show. So, anyways, he was outraged about the lies that were peddled about 9/11. I mean, how the Bush administration waged war on him by raiding his daughter's house. The FBI raided his daughter's house and accusing him of being a Russian asset for telling the truth about what happened on 9/11. So it was really the United States government that was responsible for this, in correspondence with foreign agencies, foreign intelligence agencies as well. So, anyways, the people that have been talking about this for years, they were called Nazis, they were called poon puppets, they were called Qatari shills, they're called all kinds of stuff. Now they know the truth. Now what they're saying, they're absolutely right. I mean, we've been living through the same narrative saying that, oh, 9/11 was done by Al-Qaeda. What should we ever do? I mean, we should go to the Middle East and bomb them, because that is the solution. I mean, they wage war on us. They should do it on them. I mean, what in the world is that? And I am not accusing all baby boomers of this. I'm just accusing the ones who were in power during 9/11. Because this is ridiculous. I mean, let me be real here. There are going to be people questioning, like, the older generation of things, but you have some baby boomers who had it with being lied to. You have some that had it with being lied to by politicians. And you know what? I remember reading something on social media that says that whatever happened to, like, the gangs that wore suits, they're still around. You see them in Washington, D.C. all the time. They're called politicians. They're called bureaucrats. They're called deep state actors. That's what they're called. I mean, the gangs in suits, they're still around. You just have to go to Washington, D.C. to see them. Because they are gangsters in suits. I mean, doing all kinds of terrible things around the world. With their neocon, neoliberal type of BS. Which, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. So anyways, you have people, all generations, say that they had it. They had it with being lied to and gaslit. I mean, I don't think the American people should tolerate being lied to by their government anymore. And of course, and I think that it is going to be up to us, our generation, as well as, unless there's some baby boomers who are willing to stand up. Stand up against this crap show. So anyways, and you have some people who are not all that optimistic about the Trump administration as well. Well, like the Epstein files, of course, that they won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I mean, the Biden administration didn't release them. What is keeping the Trump administration from releasing the Epstein files? I mean, does the story have that many tentacles? Tentacles? I mean, could Epstein have dirt on everybody, including the Trump administration? So, anyways, I know that there are all kinds of people that say that, oh, they'll make all kinds of promises. Well, are you going to keep that promise? Are you going to be more transparent? Now, I like how transparent the Trump administration is now, but I know it could be more transparent than that, especially in the legislative branch and the judicial branch. I mean, all these secrets and stuff of that matter. I mean, do you know that the American people, we pay taxes? That we pay taxes just so they could keep those secrets. I mean, we deserve to see it. I mean, our money paid for those intelligence buildings. Our money paid for all those government buildings. So, why should there be such thing as government secrets when they claim to be transparent? When there's all these government secrets. I mean, yeah, we are entitled to know what is going on. Now here are plans of the people who want war. They're building an underground city that costs about $21 trillion. Or it could be more than that. So, I'm not blaming this on the baby boomers. I'm not blaming this on any generation. I mean, let's just leave the generation thing out of it. Let's leave the racial thing out of it. Let's just leave everything out of it. Whoever's fault is this are the people in power. The people who used to be in power, they're still in power somewhere. You just don't know where. Don't be fooled by them leaving the presidency or something like that, because they're still around. They're behind the scenes, pulling the puppet strings, or having their strings pulled by another puppet master. So, anyways, I know that right after Gen Z, there's Gen Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and other generations as well. And there'll come a day where that future generations will question our approach in politics or something that matter. I mean, there's always going to be generations questioning other generations' approach to politics. I mean, you had all kinds of changes in the two parties, but there was still no big switch. I mean, I believe that, but there was no big switch. That's a lie. So, I think the Democratic Party, for example, of course, has gone from like the Kennedy Democrats. I mean, if JFK were alive today, he would be a Republican. He would, excuse me, he would find the Democratic Party of today unrecognizable. Absolutely unrecognizable. So, gone from the Kennedy Democrats to the Clinton Democrats to Obama to the woke Democrats of now. But you still have different types of Democrats. You have the old school Democrats. You have the old school Democrats. You have the classic liberal Democrats, not the leftist Democrat. Let me just put it this way: you have liberal Democrats. You have leftist Democrats. So the classic liberals, so people like Bill Maher, Tulsi Gabbard, who became a Republican, by the way, and RFK Jr., and I think Joe Manchin, a former Senator Joe Manchin, West Virginia. So, anyways, and you have the leftist Democrats of today. AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Maxine Waters. Just about majority of them are leftists, which has gone too far to the point where it's just craziness. And yeah, the Republican Party has changed as well. You've gone from the Reagan Republicans. You've gone from the Reagan Republicans to the Bush Republicans who supported the war in Iraq. You have the Tea Party Republicans composed of Paul Ryan, Kevin McCarthy, even former Representative, now Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, part of the Tea Party movement who gone against Obamacare because it was a socialist type of thing, which I agree it is. So, and now you have the Trump Republicans. You have the MAGA Republicans. But in any party, you always have a big tent. You have a big tent of ideas. And I would say same for third parties like Libertarian. I mean, you have all kinds of arguments going on in the Libertarian Party. So, I think Samuel Hampton, who I interviewed with, of course, has already addressed this. If not, I might ask him for another interview, just to be safe, if we haven't discussed that. So, anyways, back to baby boomers. They're one of the wisest generations there are. All of them are not rich. Not all of them are rich or wealthy or something that matter. I mean, if they have advice about finances or something like that, I mean, the financial advice they have. I mean, I listen to Dave Ramsey. I take financial advice from him, and he gives pretty good advice. Now, the comments that I would read about hating on Dave Ramsey for being too out of touch. Sometimes it's good to be out of touch. Sometimes it's good to just go back to basics. But I'm aware that, yeah, things are harder, but things are just going to be harder as a mindset. Yeah, things are harder. But it's because you think it's going to be harder. It's a mindset. Mindset that you're a victim, and of course, yeah, it's the victim mindset that you probably need to get out of. It's only hard if you think it's hard. If Louisiana is a hard state, it's hard because you think it is. There's something that you should have done in the past, or make it easier. All kinds of opportunities and stuff that matter. But no, you want to bring race, you want to bring sexuality, you want to bring gender into this. You spend your entire life turning yourself into a victim. That's the reason why you're a failure now. So anyways, that is that on this. We'll be right back. Okay, everyone, so that is it for this week's episode. This is the final episode of this season. So, promise that we will do more episodes next season. And I think the book Brainwash will be released in June or July. So, it depends on how fast I can get this book finished. And it depends on how our situation might change. Because there's a lot of uncertainty into the situation. A lot of uncertainty into this, but you know what the saying goes, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and I am confident that there will be light at the end of this very dark tunnel. So I didn't do any Instagram lives for this month or last month. So, but I promise that I will find some way to do one next month. We'll probably be in a better place by then. So, anyways, that is it for this episode. And do not miss this week's episodes of the 47. Going with Chester A. Arthur and Grover Cleveland. First term Grover Cleveland. I mean, second term doesn't come until like the next after Benjamin Harrison. So anyways, that is it for this episode. I'm Josiah Anderson signing off. Goodbye, everyone. Have a nice rest of your weekend. And congratulations on your graduation for those who are graduating. Goodbye.